Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Pucker's New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
I feel like we were just here, Tim.
We were.
And we have some amazing, awesome news, please. I'm sure everybody knows, but go for it.
The New Jersey Devils have parted ways with general manager Tom Fitzgerald.
And I
Very
think
heartfelt statement from David Blitzer and Tom.
Oh, what was the heartfelt statement from David Blitzer, please?
Hang on.
For
fuck's sake. Tom and I had a thoughtful conversation today and agreed it was time to move in a new direction. Tom changed the trajectory of our team here, including setting a franchise record for points in a season and helping make the New Jersey a hockey destination. He's a well-respected leader across the Devils organization in the NHL. I'm grateful for our friendship. Blah, 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 blah. Here's Fitz's. After talking with David Blitzer, it was apparent to everyone that the best course of action is to move on for the benefit of the team. I'm incredibly appreciative to the organization, blah, 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 blah. So it's important to have a core of great players, vocal and passionate fans, and most really tremendous people who work here towards a common goal. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, you're not really reading this, so nothing's there.
No.
He said nothing. Lip service. But okay, let's get down to the brass tacks of things. We sat here not more than 30 minutes ago doing a live show where I believe you, Bobby, myself, and everybody, our listeners, believed what we said was this, nothing's going to change. It has been status quo for 3 years. Oh, it's actually been regressing. You add that on top of the Quinn Hughes debacle and the missing of the playoffs this year. In the last, I mean, this truly is shocking. Like, I get the Bruce Cassidy firing. Holy shit, 8 games left. Patrick Waugh, 4 games before the end of the season, Islanders in the hunt for a playoff spot, and you fire him. This is something that for Devil fans, how crazy it is, because this really, no one thought this was happening.
I'm actually very surprised. I know there are people who think they have inside info who said this is coming, but this is kind of out of nowhere. Especially after these things tend to happen after like something really bad happens, like in the game. Like and after that 9-0 loss, it's kind of like, well, if nothing happened then, like can't sure shit nothing's happening now. So what I'm guessing is happening is Tom Fitzgerald is about to go take the Nashville Predators job.
I thought the exact same thing when I saw the message. My wife asked me, she said, so like, do you think like anyone else will hire him now after like what happened here? And I said, he's probably going to Nashville. He'll probably be hired by like, the beginning of June. They'll announce it after the season, whenever Nashville gets bounced from the playoffs, because I think they're making it. But yeah, him and Burnett.
Now we are. Now they're gonna go fucking like.
No, not us. Nashville.
Oh no. We're gonna go undefeated the rest of the season. Making the playoffs is gonna be great. It's gonna be fucking wonderful. We're the best team in the world. Holy shit.
Well, you go into, let's say you grab that little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, like we talked about. You go on a run. You win a Stanley Cup. Think how awesome it is for the next GM walking in. Because that you wrote it went out in a tweet, man. You're gone. You can't come back. No backsies on this shit. I don't care if they win the Stanley Cup. You can't come back.
But so I don't know. I don't know what the scoop is now. There's some smoke earlier today that Toronto is very much interested in Sonny Mehta, who has been at the top of my list for a while, top a lot of different teams' lists. I wonder if that kind of lit a fire a little bit, and we've talked about thinking maybe we have a little bit of absentee ownership, but I guess not. I guess they were very much aware of what is happening. However, I wonder if it's just Fitz, what's going to hold it together. Who is still going to be around within the organization? Is McKinnon, is Madigan, is who is still going to be hanging around? Because I was still an advocate of blowing the whole front office up and getting rid of everybody.
Well, I mean, this is the biggest step they could take, whether or not, and we don't know yet. Like, there's still a lot. This is like an ongoing developing situation. So we're going to have, the final 5 games and the entire playoffs and off season to discuss, but it's a great question. And also you talk about the dressing room. And I said this to my wife too. So this now just sends a message to that dressing room. Nobody's safe.
This is correct.
Yeah,
This is correct.
they're whoever was just sitting back and thinking, you know what, I'm locked up. I have a no trade clause. What are they gonna fucking do? You know, Timo, I'm looking at you. Now it's time. Like, okay, you know what? There's new management coming in. New management is coming in to win a Stanley Cup, not just rest on Tom Fitzgerald's busted laurels. So there will be changes made, but this is so huge and it's so great for this freaking organization.
I'm trying to find the blog that I wrote about GM options.
Yes, if Lou could interim, please have him come in and beach
No,
pass. Absolutely.
That was such a
Again,
silly
Zach, it's an open question. Does this mean that Keefe is gone at the end of the season? I would assume,
I would think
being that there's a very good chance that Keefe will be gone now. This kind of does. Now, we have seen ownership sit down with other management positions and with coaches and get rid of only the general manager and kind of feel like they were a bit of the problem, and the team could be fixed by just replacing that one piece. You know, if you're sitting back and you're David Blitzer, Sea-Dog and Steven, all you guys are making great points. But if you're David Blitzer and you're now sitting back this season and you've now watched your team, who has all the talent in the world, about to miss the playoffs again, and you look back and you said, we had a damn good chance at Quinn Hughes and we let that go. Jack got hurt. We knew he was going to be out for a long period of time. I didn't do a single thing to try and replace those points that we were missing.
It's every single year. There's just been too little, too late, too little, too late, too little, too late.
Signs an old goaltender to an extension who is having one of the worst seasons that he has ever had this year. To now seeing what this team could be. But the fact that your general manager did nothing, and you juxtapose that on top of missing the playoffs last year or 2 years ago, getting bounced in 5 games last year. There is no, everything has been regress. I guess they're just, and then to top it off, Tortorella gets picked up, right? Whatchamacallit? Fucking Islanders. Peter DeBoer gets picked up.
Yep.
Now you're missing out on guys that could possibly replace. All your options are being picked off, and your general manager still is sitting around doing nothing. And I just think that, yeah, enough's enough. I mean, this guy seriously would have been buried underneath the Prudential Center if he stayed on another year, because he would have stayed until he died. Like, if they weren't firing him after this year, they were never firing him.
Yeah, his statue would be right next to VTEX, right next to Marty.
Exactly.
All right. So I did write a blog about this, I don't know, about 2 months ago. Like, with the whole, like, I did a lot of research into potential candidates. So I could go through a few of those if you are interested.
Please. I mean, we want to talk some candidates. There's now a position open. Are you going to throw your hat in the ring?
I kind of bucketed.
You're going to apply for this one?
Should I send my resume to Blitzer?
I mean, why the hell
I don't
not?
think I have the actual qualifications to do
it. Doesn't matter.
As much as
apply
I'd like to
anyway. Maybe ownership wants to go outside the box. Maybe they're like,
I get to that at the bottom. So
we have been recycling 34 general managers and coaches between 32 teams for the last 25 years in this league. I'm going to bring in that podcaster who nobody listens to.
No. We have 10 guys in Croatia who listen to us. You just showed us that. What was
crazy, right?
Who is listening? Rattle off the list that you sent us. It's fucking
all right. Wild. This is the places, the odd places where our show.
Just for everybody listening, so we have a new company that we work with that does our distribution, and they have much more robust measurement and much more robust heat map of where all of our listenership comes from. And we were very surprised at some of the answers. So if you're listening and this is one of you, fucking send us an email and tell us, because we were very confused about some of this.
Absolutely. So, like, we know, the North American love, we get it. But and I'm not a geographist, but I think this is in Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh City, is it in Vietnam?
Ho Chi Minh City, yes, it is.
Okay,
so we have. I'd ask my dad about that, but
people. Okay,
yeah.
I didn't want to assume it, so I wanted to make sure. Okay, so somebody or people in Ho Chi Minh City are listening to us. 2 in Erbil, Iraq. There's some in 10 in Zagreb, Croatia, Addis Ababa? Is that Saudi Arabia
I think so. Yeah.
or Egypt?
I don't know.
One or the other. Birmingham, United Kingdom, Dietikon, Sweden. And then we go into South America, San Miguel, Santa Cruz, some in Caracas, Facataviva, and Santo Domingo. If you're listening in Facataviva, first of all, please tell us how do you pronounce it?
Great job on that pronunciation, if that's really what it is. Anyway, okay. So very, very interesting stuff. This is eye-opening for us, but we are an international brand, guys. So
yeah, I think I would think that we were being spoofed, Mike. I really would, but it's the company doing it. It's not us. So go ahead.
All right. So I bucketed this into a couple different games. So there's sort of the traditional hockey guys that have GM, president of hockey operations experience. And again, we've been talking about this ad nauseum, the POHO GM role. And who knows if they're going to bring in one guy or two guys to do this.
Never a good idea. You can't bring in one guy to do two jobs.
I'm kind of with you that I feel like there needs to be a POHO that holds the GM accountable, but can also talk up to a sort of corporate overlord. So GMs, Rob Blake turned around the Kings in the mid-90s. His biggest issue was the Edmonton Oilers during that run. There's Shanahan.
He did also make that Pierre-Luc Dubois fucking move.
Yeah, but he also got off of it. He got out of it. And that's kind of one of the things that I like about him is that like he took a swing on something, it didn't work, he fucking fixed it.
Good point. Good point.
Shanahan, we've talked about him ad nauseum. He turned around the Leafs. A lot of that was draft luck. They got Matthews, Nylander, and Marner in the draft. But their consistent regular season success, the playoff success, I don't really know how much you can put on that, but I think he would be more of a POHO type of role.
I agree.
There's Mark Bergevin, who is the GM of the Canadiens. They went to that fake 2021 Stanley Cup final during the lockout year. We also drafted Nick Suzuki and Shea Weber. And so they had some pretty decent success. There's Peter Chiarelli.
The guy from, I'm sorry, that's the guy from Vegas?
He is, I don't know, he's an advisor somewhere right now. He's most notably known for being the GM of Montreal, the Canadiens. He's also fucking jacked too, which is kind of funny. I kind of like the idea of
Montreal didn't draft Suzuki, did they?
No, he swung the trade for him. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, he traded for him. I got you.
Yes. And then there's Peter Chiarelli. Absolutely fucking not. Also Chuck Fletcher in our own office. Absolutely fucking not. So then
automatically disqualifies you if you're a part of this organization right now.
No, the second tier of that, not second tier, the second kind of grouping, and this is an interesting group of guys, and it makes me feel old because these are the guys that I either played against or was played right after they kind of came through. So they're kind of traditional hockey guys that are assistant general managers. Jamie Langenbrunner, who's the AGM of the Bruins. He does a lot of player personnel decisions, pro and amateur talent, oversees prospect progression. The Bruins have been pretty good at that. He's well thought of in his work for scouting. Jason Spezza is the AGM under Dubas. He's a guy I'd give a long, hard look to. He's had some really good apprenticeship under there. And he's very well thought of. Some other hockey guys that are also AGMs, Ryan Bowness, who I believe is the son of Rick Bowness. He's the AGM, director of player personnel of the Islanders. I don't know what they're doing there, but the Islanders are kind of trash. I'm not really sure if aside from two players, so not really sure that's a great idea. Ryan Johnson, he's currently the AGM of the Canucks and the GM of Abbotsford. But Abbotsford won the Calder Cup a couple years or last year, I believe. So that would be an interesting person. Mike Gillis, who Mike Ruff brought up, who was the GM of Vancouver, I believe, in the Sedin area.
Jason Spezza is a good one.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with you, but Jamie Langenbrunner interests me a lot.
Yep. And then the sort of non-traditional AGMs from winning cultures. So there's Sonny Mehta, talked about him ad nauseum. Kevin McDonald, who's the AGM in Colorado. The AGM of the Capitals, Ross Mahoney. They actually interviewed him before in 2020. Then the Golden Knights AGM, Andrew Lugerner, I think he's manages their salary cap, since we're going to have some salary cap stuff. The other angle that could be interesting is to look at agents. Bill Zito was an agent before he went to Columbus and then to Florida. And Kent Hughes in Montreal has done an exceptional job in Montreal. He was an agent as well. So there are a lot of different types of people, but there's guys like Judd Moldaver, who is a mega agent, Pat Brisson, who's Jack and Luke's agent. That would probably be a serious conflict of interest.
I'm interested in 2 guys on that list. Okay. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I completely understand the management of all 32 teams, but I do know what I see. And for the last 5 to 6 years, the 2 best teams in the NHL, in my opinion, have been Florida and Vegas. Vegas, you can argue, but they've been at the top. I want Meta or the dude from Vegas. Like, they're winning cultures. When there is a problem, they fix it. They don't seem to be so absentee and asinine as Tom Fitzgerald. I absolutely would want to model. If I'm an owner, I want to model my franchise after a couple of teams in the league, and those 2 are definitely at the top of the list. So those are the guys I would want to go after.
Yeah. The other part of this, and I mentioned this a couple of times, is the rest of the office. I would like to get rid of McKinnon and Madigan as well. There are 2 guys I think that I really want to try and target. One is JP Cole out of Tampa. He's their head of their player development right now, so it would be a promotion to AGM for him. If you look at some of the guys that Tampa has iced this year, like this one guy, Dastu. Never fucking heard of this guy before. He was in like the ECHL and then like was playing in Sweden last year. And he was actually like the good fucking European find. Like we had the shitty European find.
If you know anything about the Tampa Bay Lightning this year, they absolutely are the best scouted team in the NHL. To do what they've done this year with the players that they've had out is ridiculous.
And then the other guy as AGM would be Judd Brackett, who's the head of amateur scouting for the Wild. I think they've done a really good job with their scouting.
Yeah.
Judd was also my my goalie in college. So a good dude.
I have one guy at the tippy top of my list, and that's Tim Wood. And I think he needs to absolutely put your application in. Tell him to check out your LinkedIn profile. They will not miss. And Shanahan doesn't. I don't hate Brendan Shanahan as president of hockey operations. I don't
either, man. Like if you think about what he had to manage at MLSE, the Maple Leafs organization. And Jason, I don't know why, for some dumbass reason in this article that I wrote, I completely forgot about the Dallas Stars and didn't look at anybody in the organization. But yeah, like you get the drift. It's like
we don't recognize cities that killed presidents. That's it.
Who's good at stuff and where can they fit into our piece of the puzzle to be good at stuff here? So Dallas, their drafting has been unbelievable. So whoever kind of heads those up, it's a little like in one draft. I think they got Robo, Wyatt Johnson, and I think Ottinger all in one draft.
Are you serious? In one draft?
You could barely. Your grammar is top notch. Is two notch two. Okay.
2-notch-2.
Yeah.
2 live crew.
Grammar spelled wrong. Use the wrong word. Use the same word twice. All right. Enough out of him. Enough out of the English major. So anyway,
proofread your shit, Tim.
A lot of get him, C-Dog. Get him. So I am clearly very jazzed up about this. I'm very interested to see where they go. I should probably look up David Blitzer's email address. And
now there hasn't been any announcements whatsoever about a interim general manager, right? I mean,
I didn't see. That's why it's like I wonder if I don't know.
Well, you got to also keep in mind that David Blitzer is an owner of a hockey team, and that's pretty much, begins and it ends where his hockey knowledge is. So he has to have some people around him who are steering him in the right direction or in a direction. And I don't think that's why I think that there's probably a good chance some of these management positions stick around. I'm not sure if they'll go full clean house. You know what I mean?
I think, you bring in that top layer and then let that person
Well, that's
decide if they want to keep
Like-
these people, or eventually bring in their own people that they like and trust. It is still very much kind of relationship built. So,
but yeah, I mean, if you bring in Sonny Meta and you as president of hockey ops or general manager,
he would be
Brendan
general
Shanahan
manager. He would just be pure general
yeah,
manager.
and Brendan Shanahan as president of hockey ops. Yeah, let them worry about cleaning house. I like Shanahan, and I think bringing that him back to Jersey would be kind of cool. I know I'm not in the Toronto area and their market there. I'm sure that he did a lot of shit that Toronto fans probably don't like, but as what I saw from an outsider watching that team, it wasn't all his fault.
No, I think the stories out of Toronto were that he and Dubas butted heads, and there was a bit of a power control. So obviously that's kind of a concern, particularly when again with Sonny Meta, who has an analytical background, even though like he's kind of had a front row seat to
So Jason Fitz's burner account.
Yeah. Is if there is a POHO and a GM, they have to play nice in the sandbox.
Yeah, exactly.
So Shanahan didn't have great history in Toronto with playing nice in the sandbox with an analytically driven GM. So I don't know if that makes a ton of sense. If Chuck Fletcher gets this job, I'm going to walk out into the woods, go over to my Amish neighbor's house, and just become fucking Amish for the rest of my life. Like, fuck that.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like, we're super excited right now because let's face it, right? This season was a fucking bummer, but at least they've given us the last couple of weeks some excitement, on and off the ice. But like, what if they hire a fucking complete douchebag that just sets this franchise back a decade? Like, that's super scary. Like, I hope that that's not going to happen. I think there are too many people.
So. I think I don't know. My biggest worry is they do the promotion from within again, and they try to and look, we are. I just don't want them to say like, here, Kate Madigan, take the job because you're a woman and we want to be trailblazers. It's just like, let's not do that because she kind of sucks at her job. Like, if she was good at her job, like if it was Haley Wickenheiser who's really good at her job, maybe, but like no. But I don't think it's a coincidence that there was a story about Sonny Meta and Toronto being really interested in that. This is accelerating now with the Devils.
Yeah. I think they have their guy. Like, at least they pretty much know who they're going to go after. I
would hope so. I don't know. Maybe we'll be like, because the draft is in May, I think.
Yep.
So what? Do they have a month to prepare for that?
Yeah, pretty much.
What they're going to do? Oh wait, no, it can't be in May. That's not in May. What the hell am I talking about? The draft isn't in the May.
Oh yeah, it's got to be in June.
What the fuck am I talking about? I think May is like the NFL draft or something.
Yeah, April. But yes, you're right. Why do you think? I'm curious, Sean. Like, why do you think they would bring 100% somebody from the outside? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to judge. Like, Fitz has been around. Before him was Shiro, and he was Shiro's guy. Like, I don't know what this ownership's going to do or what direction they're going to go in. It's really interesting. We've never been in this position with ownership being who they are, and huge opportunity for somebody to come in and take a really good team and hopefully win a freaking Stanley Cup. This is awesome.
This is a great opportunity. I'm glad that they saw this and saw the market machinations going on and we're like, okay, we need to make a move now because we're going to do this. So I'm glad that they had this foresight, and it actually restored a little bit of faith that I had in this ownership group.
I'm super psyched.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Thanks for coming back and hanging out with us a little bit longer. But yeah, this is exciting times. It's going to be a lot of news tomorrow. So definitely check out the pregame because I'd love to hear what the Danico thinks. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if secretly Danico's very happy, or I should say this, thinks that this is what the team needs. He has been kind of like
been a little bit critical. I think he bites his tongue a decent amount. Which is weird because he's an MSG employee, not really a Devils employee.
But he's Mr.
Devil. Yeah,
and I wonder if like guys like him would be, somebody involved in the decision making of an important decision like this. I'm curious if he's held in that
I
kind of
wouldn't let
regard.
that pudding brain fucking guy anywhere near this.
Oh,
decision.
he knows hockey though. He
So
knows
what?
hockey.
No, he doesn't.
He can't talk about it, but he knows it.
Fair
You
enough.
notice, like, some games, real quick, like some games, he just blabbers on, and you're just like, dude, shut the fuck up, man.
So I wrote the recap for the game last night in Montreal, and
Right.
I put in a sentence. I was like, hey, did you guys know that Montreal is really good hot dogs? Because we got a 10-minute fucking segment about how good the hot dogs in Montreal are. It's like I enjoy a good fucking hot dog every now and then, but it's like, how good can they possibly be?
It is, in the end, a hot dog.
Right? Like,
I completely agree. And on that note, we will leave you. Guys, thanks so much. This is going to be a lot of fun. And
Tom,
we'll be back.
Fitzgerald.
Farewell.
Oh, that
Fare
was
thee well.
Don't use that. Yeah. I was in the danger zone on that one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, I'm gonna go send my resume to David Blitzer. See you later.
Do that. And Tom, check out I can't even, never mind. We're out.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
All right.
Completely